All right, Glenn Beck also compared Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. Louis C.K. writes on his website, quote, "Please stop it with voting for Trump." C.K. went on to write, "It was funny for a little while, but the guy is Hitler. And by that I mean that we are being Germany in the 30s. So let's talk about that with Hugh Hewitt, host of the Hugh Hewitt Show. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Carol, and greetings from Miami, where the biggest debate in primary history is probably going to happen on Thursday night. I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
I know. I'm looking forward. I'm going to be there in person, so I'll be right on your tail trying to get some comments from you, Hugh. Let's talk about this Hitler comparison. Are these comparisons hurting Donald Trump?
Well, they are, but they're absurd. And I think it's important for every Republican to reject over-the-top rhetoric. Look, we have a four-way race for the nomination, and these are not unusual in the United States. In 1940, the Republicans went sixth ballot, and the guy who was third on the first ballot, Wendell Willkie, ended up winning the nomination. The guy who was number one on the first ballot, Robert Taft, ended up with 11 votes and finished third. Open conventions and multi-person races are not unusual, and I don't think it helps anyone to go over the top. Now, Donald Trump had a terrible 2 weeks. He lost two debates. He got into that mess with Jake Tapper in which he didn't denounce the KKK or David Duke. He had an extraordinary sequence of losses on Saturday, or very narrow wins where he was supposed to have blowouts. So Ted Cruz has a lot of momentum, and Marco Rubio has a lot of momentum, and Mitt Romney came into the race with this sidewinder and hammer that hit on the Trump support. But it's not 1929. It's an open primary. It's a lot of fun, actually. But I do think,
though, Hugh, here's the thing, like social media, you know, and it does matter because people watch social media, they read social media. But on social media went crazy when Donald Trump made his supporters raise their right hands and pledge to vote for him. And I think you're seeing it right now. They called this Hitler-esque.
That's not Hitler-esque. I do think it's unfortunate and that Donald Trump needs better theatrics when he does things like that. But hey, look, I thought I saw Bernie Sanders in the crowd at Lady Edith's wedding in the last episode of Downton last night. There are funny things that happen all the time in social media world, but I am not going to let this is a very serious conversation about the future of the country. Rubio, Cruz, Trump, and Kasich all have very serious message, and they have all very passionate, devoted followers. And I'm Switzerland in this. My radio show is open to them all. I hope I talk to them all this week. But I think Florida and Ohio will determine whether we go to an open convention. And if either of them goes to either Kasich in Ohio or Rubio or Cruz in Florida, we are definitely going to have an open or contested convention, not a brokered convention. There aren't any brokers left. And Donald Trump will have a big say in who the nominee is even if he isn't going to be the nominee. And so we have to wait and see. And I'm one of those pundits who believes, let's let the people decide and play out. Marco has got quite a campaign underway. I've already seen it down in Florida. This is his home turf. He has got an extraordinary base of support all across the state. He was in the legislature for 10 years. Ted Cruz opened 10 offices in Florida this weekend. Donald Trump has great properties and is kind of a Floridian. And John Kasich is doing very well in Ohio, and one poll shows him ahead in Michigan tomorrow. So this is an all-hands-on-deck political battle that is good for the Republican Party. I mean, it's very, very good for conservatism. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Interesting, Hugh. Always interesting. Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. It's a big political week on CNN. You're welcome.